Hi there. Welcome to Life in Motion Gym. I'm Jackie, and today we're going to do a short core workout on the mat. So if you have a mat, go ahead and get it set up. You may also want a little cushion for your knees, and that's okay. We're going to be on our hands and knees or in like a modified plank position. So if you have any little soreness in the knees, I would grab something to help cushion them a little bit as we go through here. So we have two circuits. And the first one, we're going to be again on our hands and knees. We're going to work through 3 exercises for 30 seconds, and we'll repeat that 3 times. And then our next circuit will be more of a plank circuit, which we'll hold for 20 seconds each. It's just pretty straightforward, just a forearm plank and then side planks. And I'll show you how to modify those as we go. But otherwise, we're going to go ahead and get started. So once you're set up, you can kind of come in and join me. I have my blanket here. If I need it, I'm just going to have it up front here. But again, you can kind of have your blanket down and then have your knees on top of that. So we want to come and find our, I call it tabletop position as well. So that's where we're going to make kind of a tabletop with our back. So hands on the mat. You can slightly turn your hands out to help your wrists. And always you can be down on your forearms for this as well if your wrists start to bother you. So kind of line it up with your shoulders and elbows and wrists mostly lined up. And then we want to slide those shoulder blades down our back and rotate our elbow creases forward. So we're really locking in the shoulder joint and protecting it as we're going through the moves here. And same thing, our knees and our hips are lined up as well. So I'm not too far out like this, and I'm not too far forward like that. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. And again, just trying to get a feel for it. It's okay as you kind of get used to this position. And then we got our shoulders down and back away from our ears. Now you might look at my low back here as well. So here I have a nice, my belly's sinking, right? Or my back is arching here. And then here I have a really flat back. So you can kind of play around with it, kind of go from one extreme to the other, almost like a cat-cow in yoga, and then just land somewhere in the middle. You want a slight curve in the low back, but not where it's dipping too far, but you also don't want it flat either. So play around with that, kind of shift forward and back, find somewhere in the middle there, and then play around with the low back, flattening and extending, and just trying to find somewhere in the middle as well there. So this is our basic position. Our belly button is pulled gently in towards the spine, away from the floor to help, again, stabilize our core. And from here, we're going to work through our 3 exercises. So our first exercise will be, we call them donkey kicks. So the knee will stay bent, and we're just slightly, whatever range of motion you have, kind of almost like kicking the ceiling. So I like to keep my foot flexed. It's like the sole of my foot is kind of landing on the ceiling, and we're engaging those glutes. So we'll do 15 seconds on each side. I'll tell you when to switch. And then the next one will be fire hydrant, right? So we're, again, keep the knee bent, but this time we're just opening and closing, opening and closing, trying not to rock the whole body here. So it may not be a big motion, and may just be a small range of motion for you where you can keep the trunk stable and not rock around too much, and that's okay. And the last one will be a little bit of balance and a little bit of coordination. Opposite arm, opposite leg, and we'll alternate from right to left for the whole 30 seconds. Again, try not to rock around too much, trying to keep the hips nice and stable throughout most of these. And nice strong upper body as well, trying not to rock around too much up the chain as well. Okay, so I'm gonna have my timer going, and then we'll go 30 seconds each one. Let's go ahead and kind of get yourself back to that position if you kind of took a break from it. We're in our neutral setup here, and we're gonna start in 5 seconds with the donkey kicks on the right leg. So 3, 2, and 1. So nice and easy too. You don't have to go fast because it's more about control. It's more about quality, right? You got 3, 2, and 1, switch. And we're going same thing, other side. Nice, easy breathing. Try not to hold the breath. 3, 2, and 1. Back to the right side. Donkey kicks in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Up and out. Then slowly back in again with control. Good. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, and switch. Other side. And again, you might notice one side is a little harder than the other, and that's okay. Or harder to stabilize. You got 3, 2, and 1. Reset. 10 seconds. We're going to go into opposite arm, opposite leg in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the whole 30 seconds we're here. Again, we're going at a nice easy pace so we can keep under control, and it might help us engage our core a little bit better. Good. We have about 10 seconds from here. We're breathing. Here's 3, 2, and 1. You can kind of sit back, shake out the wrists a little bit, 30 seconds, and then we're going to go right back into it. So the second round, we kind of have a good feel for the exercises, hopefully. So we might move a little bit smoother in between the transitions and be able to get a little bit more repetition in. So we got yourself set up here. We got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're lifting, donkey kicks towards the ceiling, and lifting. Exhale as you lift. 5 seconds. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and switch. Other side. Again, not letting the back arch too much here, as the back might want to try to help out at the hips. You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right back into those fire hydrants. So out to the side with the right, slowly back in. Go ahead and join. And down. Exhale as you lift. 5 seconds. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Right over to the other side. Left leg lifts up. And again, you don't have to lift very far here to get effect. You're going to work those outside hip muscles, those stabilizers that really help us when we're balancing and walking. Here's 3, 2, and 1. Reset. We got opposite arm, opposite leg. Here's 3, 2, 1. Join me. And again, mindful of the low back here as well, as we're engaging that core, belly button's pulled into the spine. We're trying to imagine that we have maybe a bowl of soup or a bowl of cereal on our low back, on our hips, and we don't want to spill any of that water in the bowl. We're almost there. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. 30 seconds. One more round. Again, third round. Now we're really used to it. Third set, best set, right? So we want to maybe try to give it a little bit more on this last one. Again, if your wrists are starting to bother you at all, you can do all of these on your hands and knees. Or if you have yoga blocks, you can use the yoga blocks as well. So we got 10 seconds. Last round here. We're coming back into our tabletop. We got 3, 2, and 1. Kicking up with that right leg and back down. 5 seconds. Switch, left leg. And that's why we're going for time here, is because we all work at different paces In order to be control and have better quality, some go ahead and switch back to the fire hydrants on the right. Some of us may have to go a little slower in order to have good control and quality, and that's okay. We're all at different levels, but we can all make this as challenging as we need to. Here's 3, 2, 1, switch to the left. Mindful of the shoulders, pushing away from the floor. Try not to sink down into the shoulder blades where the shoulders are near the ears. You got 3, 2, and 1. Last round, opposite arm, opposite leg, and join me. Out, slowly back in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And we're just going a few more seconds. Let's go 10 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, you get a good minute here while I demo the next round. So same setup, 3 exercises, 3 times, but we're just bringing it back a notch and holding for 20 seconds for these ones since it's more of a sustained hold. And you can build it up from there as time goes on. So options for your plank, we're going to be on our elbows. So we have our elbows here, forearms on the floor, thumbs up, which is kind of puts the elbows in a good, or the shoulders in a good position. Again, we're sliding those shoulders down and back, away from the ears. You can have your knees on the ground, your hips are level with your core and with your shoulders here. Well, I shouldn't say level with the shoulders, but they're a little lower than the shoulders. I don't want them up like this. Your hips, dip them down so you have a straight line from the hips to the shoulder, I should say. So this is your option. And then the next step up would be to try to lift your knees off the ground for the whole 20 seconds. Okay, so that's your regular plank. You're scooping that pelvis underneath, engaging the abs. Again, we don't want this, but more like this. And we don't want the shoulders all the way behind the elbows. If we can, we want the shoulders a little over the elbows, okay? Knees can be down. Then for your side plank, same deal. You can leave the bottom leg down on the floor, but you're lifting your hip off the mat. So make sure, again, elbow and shoulder are mostly lined up. We're not sinking down onto that shoulder. We're lifting away. We have space between the shoulder and the ear. Bottom leg can stay bent to give you that support. Top leg is straight, and you're lifting, trying to keep the hips vertical or straight up, stacked on each other. So we're not like this, and we're not like this. We're trying to keep it mostly straight. Support from both legs, and if you want, you can lift the top arm up towards the sky, or you can just kind of keep it bent. So this is option 1, or option 2 is stagger your feet and lift your hips. Okay, so again, first round, maybe you're playing around with it, but then second and third, you might have a better idea of how much you want to challenge yourself with it, okay? So we're going to go right into it in 15 seconds. Go ahead and find kind of your plank position that you'd like to try. We got 20 seconds each one. So we're coming down onto our forearms. Knees can be down, hips are down, and hold with me here, 20 seconds. Again, we have some space between the ears and the shoulders. We're not sinking down. You got 10 more seconds. We're going to move pretty quickly in between these. So transition, you're just doing your best between each one. 3, 2, and 1. Roll off to one side, and then lift hips, stack, 20 seconds here. We're breathing. Belly button can be pulled up and in a little bit. We're strong through the shoulder that we're pressing down through. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back through, roll all the way over to the other side, and lift. 20 seconds. Again, doing the best you can in between transitions. Just join us when you're there. Each time I think you'll get a little bit smoother with it. Again, you might have to rearrange your hips. I can tell I'm kind of leaning back, so I want to try to lean so my hips are stacked. You got 3, 2, and 1. You can kind of come onto your belly here. Take a break for 10 seconds. We're going to go right back into it, okay? I know these are a little quick, but I want it to be a little bit fluid here. So you got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 20 seconds, forearm, regular plank. Knees can be down, or this time if you want to try knees lifted, you can do that. You're almost there. 5, 3, 2, and 1. Take about 5 seconds to kind of get into that side plank and lift. 20 seconds here. Again, you can always take a peek, kind of see what your hips are doing here. Scooping that belly up and in. You're almost there. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Over to the other side. 5 seconds to kind of get yourself set up. And lift up. 20 seconds here. And believe me, I know side planks are one of my least favorite things to do. But I found that the more I do them, the easier obviously they get. But they're not very fun in the beginning when they're really hard, but they are a great exercise for stabilization. You're almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Come to your belly. You got about 15 seconds. But they really do isolate that obliques or side core. They're good for stabilization. Obviously, even for shoulder work a little bit too. Planks are great because they are more of like a whole body kind of exercise, which can be fun. All right, we got 3, 2, 1. Up into the side, not the side plank, the regular forearm plank. Again, you can have knees down, or this third round, maybe knees come up. 10 seconds. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll to one side. Take a few seconds to get yourself set up and lift. If it's still too hard to bring both knees off the ground on the side plank, you can always play around with lifting this top leg up and down, right? You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Try to get to the other side. 3, 2, and 1. Lift up. If you want to play around with lifting this top leg on this side as well, you can do that. Or just hold it down. 10 seconds. And good job. So we're going to come back to the belly, stretch the abs a little bit here. So we did a lot of the core work. So go ahead and just have your hands like a goalpost here, palms down on the floor, and they're a little farther in front towards the front of your mat. And just inhale and lift gently up. Big breath, stretching through the front of the body, through those abdominals. One more breath. And slowly come down. Inhale all the way up. Knees come wide. Sit the hips back and end with your child pose. Again, just taking a few breaths here. Opening up through the belly, through the low back and hips. Last breath. And gently come all the way back up. All right, good job. Again, this is a great one to keep coming back to keep working on very different aspects of the core strength and different technique that you can progress with, especially with the planks. I gave you some different modifications there, so you can always go with those and see how you're progressing each time you do it. And then if you have any other questions or comments, please leave them below the video here, and we'll take a look at them and try to answer them the best we can. And until next time, thank you guys.